Hey, welcome in to the Hoops Hour. I'm the big man on campus. Today is Thursday, January 3rd, 2018, and let's break down basketball with the big man here. Hopefully I can provide some info to you, and you can beat the books tonight. We'll try to throw you out some great information. As always, there's no one in the business that breaks it down quite like me. So welcome in. Thanks for coming on. If you're checking the show out, please do me a favor and like it. I would appreciate that. And feel free to throw any comments that you might have out there. Welcome in Mitchell, Dennis, Nuke Worker, Ars Jacobs. A couple people just joining here. So I thank you for that. And I see 10 likes already, so thank you. Very kind of all of you. We had a fun night last night here. I went 2-0 on my picks on my website. Gave you guys a winner. If you got 4.5, that's where I released it to my people. 4.5 ended up being a big time number because it fell 5. So I'm very happy about that. What I'll do, guys, I'll throw out a couple games that I have my eye on tonight. And then what we'll do for all of you is go over some of your comments and see if I can provide you any great info that you might enjoy. First one I want to talk about here, and that's going to be NC State and Miami. I think this is a game that I think we've all seen before. We saw it last night with Maryland and Nebraska. We saw it the night before with St. John's and Marquette, and we're seeing it again here with Miami and NC State. Listen, I've talked about, and if you listen to my deep dive I did on the second half of college hoops, I've talked about NC State. I think they're a bet against team. I think they're a team that's overvalued and a bit fraudulent, frankly. I think their schedule is a joke. They've been on the road once this year, and they lost. You got a game here where I think a lot of perfect storm is coming together here for this Miami team to get a big-time non-conference cover, maybe a win. You look at the fact that there are 4 losses people are going to point to. Seton Hall, it was on a neutral floor, and they lost by 2. I think we all agree that wasn't a bad loss at this point. They beat Fresno on a neutral, which is a nice win. They also lost to Rutgers by 3, and Rutgers is a damn good defensive team. Lost to Yale in Miami. It wasn't at their home gym. That's no shame. They're going to go to the tournament. And Penn is a top 150 team. So, and that was in Philly. So, while the losses aren't good, if you're Miami, you need to win those games. But I think they're coming into this one excited and ready to go. They have 2 great guards in Chris Likes and Zach Johnson. Johnson comes over from Florida Gulf Coast. They have a big in the middle named Ozindu I really like. Chris Likes is a terrific player. Anthony Lawrence can really defend, his senior perimeter player. I'm just not really that interested in NC State. I think they're a bit overvalued. I think they're good offensively, but I think Miami's pretty damn good defensively. And I think for them, this is going to provide tough. I think you're getting – what are we getting here at this point in this game? I think if you're getting 2.5, I'll take a shot. You can actually get 3 at Pinnacle. If you bet at Pinnacle, you can get 3 right now. I would probably ride the wave of these close games, road team. You know, I'm going to take a shot with the home group here. I really like this shot. So yeah, if I'm playing it, I'm playing Miami. Penn State, Michigan. I would lay it here with Michigan. The only thing that scares me is they're a big public favorite here. You got to lay 11. You're dealing with a team that's failed to cover in 5 straight games, but you're dealing with a team here that is and has been laying a lot of points. You look at every game over the last 4, I think they've been laying 16 or more in every game. You know, this is a little bit more manageable. You have a Penn State team here that's pretty bad on offense, and you're facing a Michigan team that's downright fucking stingy on defense. They are absolutely terrific on the defensive end. I mean, really every way you look at it. 6th in the country in 2-point percentage, 11th in effective field goal percentage efficiency, total efficiency 87, 3rd in the country. And they make their teams that they're facing really kind of, look for a good shot. I mean, they're literally, making a team, create for 19, 20 seconds. I mean, that's a long time. I think if you're Penn State, you're really going to struggle here. This is not a vintage Penn State team. Josh or Shep Garner's gone. Tony Carr's gone. This is a team with a decent player too. They're a bit young. You look at the experience of this team, 305 in the country in experience. This team's only averaging about 1.2 years a player. They're young kids. There's not a lot of continuity with this group. And I think against a veteran team like Michigan on the road, I think this could be a tough game for Penn State. If I'm taking Michigan, I'm not looking to step in front of them right now. I would ride them here. I think they bounce back with a cover, and I think this is like a 75, 55 type of game. I think Penn State really has issues scored in this game. Yeah, I agree with you, Dennis. I like Jacksonville State myself. They're headed on the road to take on Belmont. They've covered 8 in a row, Jacksonville State. Been a really impressive run for Ray Harper's crew. And, he's a guy that's not going to get a lot of credit, but he's a hell of a coach. He's a guy that really gets it all out of his teams. Always a very good defensive group, Jacksonville State. And you look at this year, they went out and added some transfers. They brought in Dietrich Mastella, who was over at East Tennessee State. They went out and really kind of gentrified their team a little bit. And I like what I'm getting out of it. You're getting a team that defends, they cover numbers, and they're hanging right in games. They don't get blown out. I like the mix of talent they have down at Jacksonville State. They've won on the road and played some tough games. They went up and played Penn State. They went and played. They got to go play Belmont and Murray every year. They also went and played Evansville. That's a tough place to go play. Wichita State, Sanford. All these teams, solid groups. They hung around West Virginia. They don't get blown out. If I'm getting 8 points, 9 points here, I'm agreeing with Dennis there. I like the points. Christian Cunningham's come over and given them some really solid minutes. Ty Hudson, Marlon Hunter, Jamal Gregory, the typical players for this team. My question is, what is Mostella's status? Because he didn't play in the last game. And I don't know if that was just they were playing a non D1 team and he just kind of sat out. But I want to see what his status is. He's been out a couple games. What's going on with Dietrich Mastella? Because he's a bucket getter for them. I want to kind of see what's going on here. He's been around. He's been all around these different teams. And I'm concerned a little bit because I know when he was at Tennessee, he had a drug problem. He had a marijuana issue. So I'm concerned that maybe this has turned into, one of those personal issues. We've seen that with a couple of these players. Deshaun Murray, a prime example at West Kentucky. He was with Auburn. Then he goes to West Kentucky and leaves the team. I want to know what Mostella's status here is. That's interesting. We'll see. Either way, if I'm taking this game, I'd like to know his status. But before that, he's out with a leg injury. So I want to see his evaluation. He's been out for, a few weeks now. So that's something I want to kind of understand. I'm going to guess he's not playing, but we'll have to see. I'll get to Memphis. What's up, Rob, Taz, Lloyd, Hal Abrams? Welcome in. Big Worm, Matt, Adam, Emza. What's up? All you guys, thanks for joining us. If you're in here, do me a favor, hit the like button. I'd greatly appreciate that. That would be kind of all of you. Thank you, Scoots, for joining us. A couple others here, guys. Northern Kentucky, Oakland. That's an interesting game up in Kentucky. You look at this one. Northern Kentucky playing good basketball right now. Really are. Actually, I'm sorry. This game's in Michigan. My fault. It's over in Oakland. Northern Kentucky playing good basketball and really not laying a big number here. This is one of those games that's kind of interesting. Why is the number only 4? I would have put this at like 4.5, 5. Like, I think they're a better team. I think the one knock on Northern Kentucky is like their foul shooting. They're just really hard to back in these kind of games because they're generally in points. But I got to be honest, I've kept off Northern Kentucky because of that, and it really hasn't mattered. They've been killing teams lately. I mean, you beat up Illinois, Chicago, beat up IUPUI, had some solid wins against top 150 teams in Northern Illinois and Miami of Ohio, beat up UMBC, beat up Moorhead. I mean, their only losses are the step-ups. I mean, the East Kentucky loss is kind of weird, but that's an in-state opponent, whatever. They've been really good on offense. And I think the one concern for me in this game for Oakland is they love to shoot the three. I mean, they're very good at three-point percentage. I think they're like top 5 in the country in three-point percentage. But you look at Northern Kentucky, they are a terrific three-point defense, one of the best in the country, only allowing 28% from three. I think for Oakland, I think offense is going to struggle at points in this. And I know a lot of people, kind of always see Oakland and they get excited, but this is not a typical Oakland team. Kay Felder's not walking through the door of this team. Kendrick Nunn's not walking through the door. These guys have moved on. They're a bad defensive team per usual, and they're just not a team that's very good on really either side of the ball. I think they'll struggle in the half court if they have to create offense. They want to just shoot threes. Northern Kentucky kind of doesn't allow that with some of their long guards. I mean, you look at their guards. I mean, long. I mean, Jalen Tate, 6'5", Dantes Walton, 6'5", Bryant Mercabi, 6'5", Trayvon Faulkner, 6'4". I mean, the bigger guards, which is what you like. Throw in the fact that Drew McDonald's one of the best players in the league. Frankly, I'm looking at this game and saying, why doesn't this game go over? I mean, Oakland, it will get at least 70, I would think. I mean, this game to me looks like it's like 82-72 or something. Like, I could totally see that. So, I mean, if I'm looking at this game and seeing, 150 and a half or 151, I'm sorry, I could get 151 at Pinnacle or Bet Online. I mean, I'm interested. That's kind of a solid player. You're going to get pretty good tempo. Northern Kentucky, decide pretty quickly on shots, and they're not terribly slow. Oakland, the problem that I have at Oakland here is they've slowed their tempo down, and what this shows me, what this possession is showing me, guys, that it's pretty clear if they can't make threes, they're very hamstrung on scoring, because 322 with possession and their three-point percentage is so high, that shows me that they're settling for a lot of threes, and in some cases they're doing well making them. But in a lot of cases, they're getting into the half court and struggling. I'll say this is 82-72. I'll lay this. It's not my favorite play on the world, but I think this number is a bit too short. It's a road game. I feel like if you can get 3.5, I would be most interested in that if I'm playing it. Let me give you guys a free play here. Now, again, this was close to making my card. It didn't. I have one play tonight. It's the best play on the board. I love it to death, and it's been sent out to all my people. I sent it out, hours ago. It's not this play. If you want my play, again, you're going to have to go get it. But this play is just as good. And to anyone that's, you don't want to give you – I gave out my play last night. I gave you UCF last night. And I gave you some winners last night anyway. I like this play, and I would recommend putting a few shillings on it. I like Sanford tonight against East Tennessee State. And there's a couple reasons why I like Sanford. You look at, first of all, the number. You're getting 9.5 here. If I'm creating this number, and I mean this with the utmost respect to East Tennessee, I would make this number like 5 or 6. Like 9.5 is too many points. And I love East Tennessee State. They're 11-2 against the spread. They've been terrific all year covering numbers. But I think a lot of that has to do with the matchups and the fact that they're one of the best rebounding teams in the country. They have just pawned teams on the glass. And that's one of the reasons Furman didn't get the job done for me the other night when I took them. They had some issues on the glass. I don't think we're going to see those same issues with Sanford. Sanford is very good against the spread or rebounding the ball. I think they're averaging about 39 boards a game. That they can neutralize East Tennessee State by rebounding the basketball. And it's funny because you look at how good East Tennessee State is against the number, 11-2. You know who's better? Sanford, 12-2 against the spread. They've been covering as dogs. They rebound. They play good defense. Opponents are only averaging 70 points a game against them. They're only allowing opponents to shoot 44.8%. I just really like what they do. You look at the fact also that they went on the road and won some really big games. Okay, they went on the road, covered against Ohio State, went on the road and hung with Belmont, took them to overtime. Yeah, they went on the road and beat Jacksonville State. They went on the road and beat IPFW. They went on the road and took care of business, whether it's laying points or whatever. They hung around with Tennessee. They hung around with UNC Greensboro. All the teams that they play, they hang around with. It's just that simple. If I'm getting 9.5 here, I'm taking a shot. It's that simple. If you can neutralize East Tennessee State on the glass, I think you're going to have a chance. And again, I don't love East Tennessee State. I don't love them. This is not the best team that they've had. So I would take a shot with that tonight. So yeah, everyone have a enjoyable night with that one for you. Just gotta block someone here. Sorry. So we'll get the kinks figured out here, guys, with some of these trolls. See you later. Rashawn Brown, welcome in. He's saying IPFW straight up. I don't agree with that at all. But good luck. I hope you get the job done there. Lucky, what's up? Yeah, they have been, Mike. That's exactly right. Glad to have you, Dream It. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Good to see you on here. Thanks for jumping on. Middle Tennessee State FIU, people are asking about. Yeah, look, I mean, if you listen to my deep dive, I've highlighted how bad Middle Tennessee State is. They're really bad. 1-10 against the number. Kermit Davis is gone. They're one of the worst offensive teams in the country. There's no leader on this team, no bucket getter, no continuity. They're just a team that is going the wrong way fast, really fast. And, you look at FIU. The problem I have with FIU is I don't think they're very good either. I mean, they go really fast, but, I mean, they're not really that good. And now I got to lay 3 in this game. I feel like, look, if you got the number at 1.5, good for you. If you got a solid money line price, good for you. But at this number, 3.5, I'm good. They still probably win, but I can't bring it to myself to lay 2.5, 3 on the road with Florida International. Just can't. Plus, the whole world's on them. People think just because a team goes really fast, they're going to go over all the time, they're going to cover. It's not true. They're not that much better than Middle Tennessee. So that's interesting. Yeah, again, I mean, the fact that they're bad at 3-point defense is fine. I mean, I don't, the problem is FAU doesn't really shoot 3, so I don't really think that's relevant, to be honest. And that's one thing I think people have to, when you're looking at a game, you have to go and ask yourself, is this team going to be able to break down the other team? And that's why, for me, I don't think there's anyone on earth that can break a game down like me, because these handicappers just throw out shit that doesn't even make sense. Like, they bring up stuff that doesn't even matter. Like, oh, well, this guy's out. Or it doesn't matter. It doesn't even mean anything. Like, the fact, and I'm not, like, for me, with 3-point defense here, I don't think it's going to matter, because what FIU is they're a slashing team. Their goal is to go as fast as possible and get to the rim and go to the line. They want to get to the foul line. You look at 55th in the country getting to the foul line. They're very dead set on creating at the line, getting to the hoop, shots at the rim. That's what they do offensively. So, and you look at their 3-point attempt, they don't shoot a lot of threes. So I don't think Middle Tennessee can really exploit that. You also look at the fact of when Middle Tennessee, the only way they can even stay in a game, like, they're pretty horrendous at everything. The only thing they could do to stay in a game is rebound. Like, they're actually decent at rebounding. they get 31% of their misses. FIU's pretty decent rebounding team. So again, I don't know if this is a great matchup for Middle Tennessee. So in that retrospect, Dennis, I agree with you. I would do it if I had to, but I'm not sure that I'm not sure that's relevant really. 9 3-pointers is pretty average. I think most teams make that amount. Anthony, what's going on? AB Sports. Yeah, I'll get to Iowa Purdue in just a second. Furman against Mercer. I'll get to that one too. I don't have much on it. Furman's kind of on my naughty list right now. I've not, I think that team kind of was a wolf in sheep's clothing, to be honest. I think they had a big win and people kind of, fell in love with them. But look, it was I think it was like the 4th or 5th game of the season when they beat Villanova. Villanova had turnover problems. Villanova's a totally different team now. So yeah, I don't know how great that win is, but Furman will be in the mix. Big man, show Man City respect. First of all, you're not going to come in my chat and tell me anything. Second of all, it's funny you haven't turned up in a few days because your beloved Vikings got their ass fucking caved in yet again, which is funny because Philadelphia absolutely owns Minnesota. It's so sad how bad we own Minnesota. And Philadelphia owns Minnesota. I mean, maybe I can remind you all again, just quickly. They came in here, and we absolutely destroyed them in the NFC title game. And then we go to the Super Bowl in Minnesota and beat the Patriots in front of all them. And they were so disgusted that they couldn't even rent anyone rooms. They were gonna taunt and get mad at Philadelphia. Oh, and then by the way, this was the best one. When they came in here in the middle of the season and won a game and acted like it was a big winner and everything, like it would matter late in the season. Oh, we got the advantage. We beat them in the regular season. Oh, doesn't matter. Sorry. We still pawned the fuck out of you. There's no team that owns a team more than we own the Vikings. It's kind of like me with you. I own you every time we talk. It's funny. And then you come in and you tell me to do stuff. It doesn't matter what happens Sunday. It's the fact that you're not going to watch your team in the playoffs because my team knocked you the fuck out. That's what's funny about all this. We literally have completely pawned Minnesota with a backup quarterback. We're doing all this with a backup quarterback. We have literally every injury known to mankind, and we still fucking destroyed you. We said, get your ass open. We're going to fucking pound you, motherfuckers. That's what we did. We literally took that fucking steak and shoved it inside of your fucking neck. Gotta love it. Minnesota Vikings, see you later. But Minnesota, I still love you. Should I show Man City? Look, that's a nice win today. Great win for them. But I don't know. It's a great game against two really good teams. So I don't know. I'm not really. I mean, they're a good team. They should be winning. I mean, there's nothing to really say about Minnesota. I mean, they get destroyed. Let's keep it moving here. But Teddy, thanks for joining us, man. Just wanted to get that out to you. What's up, Juan? Buckery, what's up? Austin Z, Alex Wander, Tyrell Goodman. Thanks for joining us. Hit the like button, please. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Guan. What's up, buddy? How are you? Yeah, and they're fighting on the side. Good point. Let's get to the next game here. I'd like to get to Purdue and Iowa here. You know, this is interesting. It really is. I don't understand this game. You know, because like if it's me, I would look over in this game. Like this number is just dropping like crazy. I mean, this total open 151. It's down to 145.5 at Pinnacle, 146 at Five Bombs, and then it says high as 147.5 at Bet Online. What the hell's going on with this total? Is this just going to be a 65-60 kind of game? Because I don't see it. I mean, you have two really good offenses here. I mean, you have two teams that get to the foul line. You have two teams that, you know, particularly Iowa, that aren't great on defense. You have really good guard play here. You have bigs that can score. I don't tempo's not bad either. I don't understand this number the way it's moving down. It literally doesn't make any sense. I don't know. And as far as the side, this game reminds me of Nevada, Utah State a little. Like, I have a feeling it's going to be that. So maybe we get God here. But it could just be Oklahoma, Kansas, too. Either way, there you go. Put that in your fucking eye hole. How about that? Fly, Eagles, fly. But yeah, I mean, Purdue, you got to wonder, it's just one of those games where, it's 78-62, and they kind of just say, nope, not tonight. You're not coming in here. You're not. We're not going to put you on the foul line, because that's what Iowa wants from you. Iowa literally thrives at the line. They're second in the country getting to the foul line. A lot of free throw attempts. You look at Purdue, though, and they don't foul a lot. 75th in the country in free throw attempts given. So they don't go to the line. They don't put people in the line. That's the truth, and that's a good defense. Can you get and play defense without fouling? They can. And defensively, I think that's where the edge is here. If they can just neutralize Iowa from the three-point line, because Iowa is fairly good from three, and Purdue's not great from three, defending. I would say, for me, if I'm playing this game, I'd bet over. The number's just too low at this point. Bad news out of Oregon. Bol is probably played his last game, which is a shame. I was looking forward to watching him this year. We got to see him a little bit, but that's just been about it. I mean, I think the pace will be there, but the line's just too weird, man. It just doesn't make any fucking sense, this line. Like, it has literally dropped 6 points as total. You don't see that often. And now it's back up, now it's neutralizing around 146. Or now it's coming down 145.5. I think if you can get 145.5, I would play it. Like, that's weird, man. That's really fucking weird. What's going on? Is this sharp action on this total? Let me look here at the report. Let me see something here. Because this is really odd. You don't see this often in the middle of the season. Purdue's probably if you really are a sharp guy, you bet Purdue probably today. Purdue's a sharp play. No doubt about it. How about this, guys? The number one sharp bet total-wise today is none of these games, not this game, not on here, but it's the top sharp side. The top sharp side today is Purdue. So take that for what it's worth. Another kind of late night game, and I'll talk about this more, guys, tonight. And I urge all of you, check out my show tonight, every night, 9 o'clock Eastern, Off the Board. It's a show basically where we talk about live bets. We watch games live. If you watched last night, you watched us celebrate a few winners Drew Martin and I had. It's really a fun show, and we talk about late games. This next one I'll probably talk about as a late night bet that I like. It's going to be Santa Clara. I like Santa Clara a bit tonight. Against San Diego, little home dog here. Herb Sendek's done a great job with Santa Clara. I mean, you lose KJ Fagan. I mean, and they've not really missed a beat. They look a lot different from an offensive perspective, which I like. Sendek's a great coach, by the way. He really gets a lot out of his team. Doesn't have a lot of talent. The guy that's coached, the Arizona States in the past and that kind of stuff. I just look at this game, and you're giving me 6 points at home with a team that I think can win. It's a bit much. Santa Clara's playing some great basketball. I mean, you beat 2 Pac-12 teams in the last 3 games. You've been great at home. I mean, they've won, 5 in a row. They're playing great basketball. Defensively, they're pretty solid. They're a pretty equal team to San Diego. I don't know that I see 6 points difference here. I think getting 6 at home looks like a solid play here. They're a little bit more athletic, Santa Clara. They went out and kind of re-upped a little bit. They went out and got, Taj Eddy from Southeast Missouri. They went out and got Trey Wertz, a 6'5", kind of tweener. Josh Martin, Keyshawn Johnson, Joseph Frankic. You wonder when you can get Fagan. What this team could really do. They could be a thorn in team sides. I don't know how quick Fagan will be back. I think he's got like a broken hand or something. But again, this is a pretty good spot, I feel like, for Santa Clara, the Broncos tonight. Thanks, Hal. Appreciate you joining me, man. Is the late night show call-in show? We've kind of moved. It was supposed to be at the beginning, but now that we have guests, we kind of just run with it. Sometimes callers can kind of throw off the momentum of the show. If we're talking about stuff, and then they call in and want to start talking about football, it just kind of throws off the momentum. But we're kind of enjoying what's going on right now. We have a chat box. I'm very adamant and on there, so I think that's enough for right now. Any thoughts on South Dakota tonight? No, I don't really have any opinion on South Dakota. I'm kind of staying away mostly from that team anymore. I don't really want them without. I like them with Craig Smith, and I like them with Matt Mooney. They're kind of a shell of what they were last year, so I'm not really interested. Any thoughts on Penn losing? No, I mean, the Ivy League is a weird league. Greg Peterson's on the show tonight. GUnit81 on Twitter does a podcast of his own. Greg and I have worked together in the past. He's a big college basketball guy. Kind of the polar opposite of me. I bet like very light as far as one or two plays a night. He goes for a different approach, let's say. Yeah. We'll have two kind of different things. But, one of the reasons I like Greg also, though, is because, he knows a lot about all the different teams. So I'm happy with him coming on, and I look forward to chatting with him tonight. What's up, Jewish? Thanks for joining us. We'll look to wrap it up here, guys, in a few minutes. Any other questions, feel free to send them in. Georgia Southern. I kind of like Georgia State tonight against Texas State, but without Ike Smith, or Georgia Southern, I'm sorry, not Georgia State, Georgia Southern. But it is a road game. It is a game without Ike Smith. I mean, Tukey Brown's going to have to do everything in this game. So that's kind of one I kind of got off of. Wichita State, Memphis are pretty high scoring. Memphis goes really quick. Wichita State's actually been, pretty solid as well from a tempo perspective. I could see that game getting high 70s, low 80s, maybe one getting 80, one getting in the high 70s. You just got to wonder where Memphis's offense has been. Hopefully they get it going. But they've been their typical, very good on the glass. That could be a decent tempo game. But card's not great tonight. There's not a lot of great spots. I mean, the only spot I really had my eye on was I had a few that I had circled. That Northern Kentucky game, Sanford, Jacksonville State, Santa Clara. I kind of like a few others, but it's not a great card. BYU Pacific is an interesting game. I think Pacific is pretty sharp side here. BYU is kind of all over the place right now, and that's a concern for me. They were horrendous against Mississippi State the other day, and they're back on the road here. You got a big look-ahead game on Saturday against St. Mary's. I know every game's important in the West Coast Conference, but I think this team is checked out. I really do. And that's crazy to say, but they're not making the tournament. I think that's what sucks about being in the West Coast Conference, because basically if you don't do well in your non-conference and get 3 or 4 really good wins, you're really not going to have much of a chance. Gonzaga this year is not going to be beat. And, it's going to take Dave Rose a lot to check this team back in. There's been a sickness going around with this team. Like I said, they have a big game on deck out at Moraga against St. Mary's. Maybe they'll look at this game against Pacific and say, well, they're not very good. We don't know. We generally always beat Pacific. But let me tell you something about Pacific. Damon Stoudemire is doing a terrific job out there. He's getting this team to play hard. They're pretty good defensively. They're terrific at getting to the line and staying in games. And the truth of the matter is, when you bet an underdog in college basketball, terrific. You want them at home, and you want them to be able to make foul shots, get to the line and make their shots, and make threes. That's one thing. That's two things Pacific do well. Getting to the line and making their shots, and then making three-point shots, neutralizing a good offense. They do a pretty nice job at rebounding the basketball. The reason I know so much about Pacific is a friend of mine, his cousin actually plays at Pacific. His name's Jaleel Tripp. He's a terrific player, and he's keyed into their program. He gives me a lot of great information on them, and this is a big game for them. Pacific is slowly trying to create their footprint in the West Coast Conference, and you're getting a BYU team right now that just isn't playing very well. They're not good on defense. You guys got to listen to this. I mean, the last few games, they've given up 92, 90, and 103. Those are NBA numbers. This should be a fun game to watch. I'd expect we see a game close to 160. At 155 and a half, 156, I would go over in this game. I think we see a lot of points. And right now, Brigham Young, just the defense is last on their mind right now. There's some fun late games here, and we'll talk more about those with Greg Peterson. So maybe later we'll add something to the card. I think there's definitely some winnable spots here tonight. BYU, when you look at mindset, I was reading some quotes out of their locker room. Dave Rose was talking about how they're just right now, there's not a lot of morale right now with this team. So that's something I'm a bit concerned with. Plus, from what I heard, they do have a little bit of a sickness going around. When you have a sickness on a team, it's going to probably hit a lot of people. So take that for what it's worth. Good amount of people in here, especially for the second day of the show. Over 150 people. Again, I don't have much of a backing here. It's me. This is my channel. It's simply me promoting it on the internet. And we got 150 to 200 really solid basketball minds in here. That's one thing I love about my shows. I don't have fucking filler in here. I don't have people in here that are just checking views out. Every single person that's in this show right now is great at basketball and knows basketball and is interested in basketball and is going to wager tonight. And I thank all of you for joining me here. There's no crap in this chat. There's no kissing people's asses. There's no putting shitheads on that have no idea what they're talking about. There's no bullshit here. It's good info. It's great questions. It's great participation, and it's great info. That's all it is. That's all we do here. You talk shit, you're out of here. It's very simple. We run a no-nonsense shop here. Jordan Parnes, thanks for checking us out. The Intermission. Jonesy, what's up, pal? Chris Carter, what's good? Johnny Roast Beef. Chad, what's up, buddy? Russ B. Bit XN. Alexander Nogales. Josh Turnage. Where's Ski Profit? I was just talking with him before the show. I think he might be working. I know he's working right now. So that might be where he is. Thanks, Alex. We got to link up, man. Hey, Alex, give me a shout, man. Maybe we can link up down in Atlantic City. I'm going to be down there, I think, next weekend. So maybe we can link up, you and I. I can't come down this weekend for the Eagles because my girl's coming up, but maybe next weekend. And for anyone that's interested, down the road, I'm going to be in Atlantic City a lot more. As many know, I go there in the summer, but I plan on being down there a lot in February and March for the conference tournaments and stuff like that. So if you're in the area, get in touch. Maybe we can link up. Couple comments here. My thoughts on James Madison tonight. JMU this year has been pretty hard to watch, to be honest. Last year they were a pretty good over team. We had a couple great overs where like they would go to overtime and we'd somehow hit the over. But I mean, there's not a lot to like about them this year. You have two bad teams here, UNC Wilmington and JMU. JMU's lost 4 in a row. You look at what Wilmington wants to do. They want to turn you over. That's kind of their goal. In fact, it usually is their goal, but they really haven't been doing that this year. If I'm going on this game, I would lean Wilmington. There's not a lot of things, Jam, you do well, but a CAA game with not a lot of prowess right now, to be honest. The fact that they're a favorite is kind of weird to me. Like, I would take the money line here if I had to. What else do we have here? Barham Jenkins. Thanks for joining us. Wright State, Detroit Mercy. That's an interesting game. Detroit Mercy is actually a team that I'm actually somewhat high on, but I'm only high on Detroit Mercy when they're a big underdog, when they're getting 10, 12, 14. They're getting 4.5, 5 tonight. I'm not as interested. That's not enough. Just isn't. Let's not overreact here with Detroit Mercy. They're good, but they're not great. They're still a really bad defensive team. But I'll tell you this is also not one of those typical Wright State teams. You got a total here at, what do we got? 134. I mean, that's pretty low, to be frank. Neither of these teams are great on the defensive end. And Detroit Mercy is, pretty quick tempo-wise. They've turned it up a little bit, and that's one of the things that's different about Detroit. They have a new coach. Mike Davis is their coach, so they're obviously doing different things. But gun to my head, if I'm getting Detroit Mercy in the 130s, I'm going over. Wright State still bangs from 3. They're a great foul shooting team. Both these teams can shoot the rock. If this turns into a shootout, man, this total is going to be pathetic. What's up, Reggie? Capper John, what's up? Any chance I'll do shows in AC? Sure. If I can. I won't do them at the book. Maybe I can figure out a way to finagle my way into one of the casinos. I don't know. We'll see. Thanks, Jesse. Appreciate it. Sounds good, Alex. Look forward to that. Jonesy, my boy. Who's my boy? I don't know who my boy is. What does that mean? Thanks, D. Curry. Appreciate you checking me out. What's up, Troy? Yep, we talked about that game. Jordan says Monmouth beats Iona. I don't disagree. Iona's really bad. I don't know about West Kentucky tonight. Big win, kind of a letdown game. No Lamonte Bearden. If Bearden plays, I might be interested, but that's a lot of points to lay on the road. West Kentucky's been home for a while, too. A show from Sugar House. I might be doing something with Fox 29 here in a couple weeks. We'll see. Maybe something with Chris O'Connell. We'll see. We'll see about that. Couple other games here, guys. Most of these games you guys are asking about, I don't have a big opinion on, and I'm running low on time. Yes, the Soup Show's every day. George Mason. I've been disappointed with George Mason. I thought they'd be a lot better this year. But Charlie Brown stuff for St. Joe's. The time is now for Mason. You're in a conference play here. And St. Louis just lost Cartier Gordon. So, hey, if George Mason's going to figure it out, it's got to start being right now. I thought this team could win this conference this year. I thought that's how good they were. But they've struggled. Otis Livingston, those kind of guys, they struggled a little bit. Big time game here in St. Joe's. If I'm getting full 7, I'd take it. But hey, Michael, thanks for joining us, man. All right, guys, have a great night. I appreciate you joining me. If I'm looking at this card tonight, I obviously have my play sent out. Check me out later. We'll have some great info on the 9 o'clock college basketball show. Off the board, we'll have Greg Peterson joining us. Oh, guys, one other one I like. I like Coastal Carolina tonight against Troy. This number's come down a bit. And I kind of missed the boat on this one, unfortunately. It was 7 earlier today, and I missed it. It's down to 6. I like Coastal Carolina here. They've actually played pretty well. They've been very good in every road game. It's a big game, first conference game. They've been good on offense. Culverson's done a nice job for Cliff Ellis's team here. They usually play a junk zone. It's tough. For Troy, their goal is to get it inside. I think that matchup will be tough here for them. There's only 472 wagers in this game, so not a ton going on. I think it's kind of hidden, but I think Coastal Carolina could be really worth a look tonight. But for the sake of the show, I'll throw one out here. Again, it's a free play for the show. I'll go Sanford plus 9.5. I think that's a solid play here. What we'll do tonight, we'll go over more games on the live card later. Me and Greg Peterson on the off the board show. Make sure you check that out. Yeah, I lean the other way, Tyrell. Cheek the Toasty, what's up, buddy? Hope you're well, mate, up there in Newcastle. Keemon, thanks for joining me, man. But I'm out. Have a great day, everybody. Yes, this show is on every day. Just answer that again, 5 o'clock. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. I'll only be on for like 20 minutes tomorrow, though. It's a short card. I got to do a podcast with someone else at 5:30, so I won't be on for too long tomorrow. It'll probably only be about 20, 25-minute show. And we don't have a ton of games anyway, but I'm not going to not do the show. You know, there's only a couple games. I'll go into them. Maybe we'll look ahead to Saturday a little bit. We'll try to find some value, maybe on the extra games or something like that. So all of you have a great day. Thanks for joining me here, and I appreciate it. Kid Bay Brooklyn, hope you're well. Isaac, thanks for joining us. Brandon, good luck to all of you tonight. I got one play. Let's root it in. Let's grab it. We'll see you all tomorrow here. If you're on your way out, hit the like button. If you're joining me late, thanks for checking me out. Also, I'm getting a lot of asks about if I'm doing a contest with King Rail. I will do the contest as long as the contest is got stipulations. I don't know what he wants to do. I think he's going to get to that later. So I'll be interested to hear what they want to do with that. But I'd be glad to have a contest. I would love to do it. I think he's a good basketball mind. He knows a lot about the NBA. And I would prefer it's for charity. I would love to do it for charity. I think it'd be fun for the SBR people to follow. He has his way of handicapping. I have my way of handicapping. I think it'd be a fun thing. And look, I don't admit I'm not an NBA guy. I just do it for fun and cap it on my own. He does it, more from a professional basis. So yeah, I would love to do it. I know King gets a little emotional. Him and I have had some problems in the past, but for me, look, I respect anybody that'll get on camera and give a pick out. I think it's very hard to do. And there are two different people in this business. There are people that are willing to put their fucking opinion out there, and there are people that sit on the sidelines and critique everybody and don't give an opinion. So I shout at him and all of the people over at his show. They do a nice job. I would be happy to do it as long as the stipulations work. Obviously, I have a business to run. I have videos to do and content to do. But if it's something that all I can do is put the games in, I'd be glad to do it. I can't do some like 20 game a night where I have to go. I can't do it. I can't do that. I have a lot going on, but I would love to do it. So we'll see what the stipulations are. And maybe you all can follow me on that. I'm sure he'll be the favorite, but we'll see how it goes. Don't sleep on me. I've been doing this a long time, so we'll see. But I'll be interested if the stipulations are correct. So maybe join us later. We can chat about that. So respect to him and everybody doing that stuff over there. So yeah, I'm out. Have a great day. I'm the big man on campus. Thanks for checking me out. We'll see you tomorrow here on the Hoops Hour. Bye-bye.